Welcome back to No Cap SEC. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. I am joined by our friend SEC Mo. And if you love college football in the SEC, you're definitely in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of No Cap SEC. Welcome into the show, everybody. Welcome back to the show, SEC Mo. Been a couple of weeks,
Good,
man.
bro?
How you been?
I've been good, man. Just busy, man. Started my son in karate, man. Working like crazy.
Yeah,
Getting into some spring football, man. I mean, exciting things going on in college football right now, man.
isn't
Spring
there?
practice kicking off around the nation, but we're here to talk about some Razorbacks and some, what do they call them? Mizzou Tigers. I don't even care about their name.
Mid-zoo
Yeah,
is what I've been
Mizzou.
calling them lately. Mid-zoo. Ain't got no love for them dudes, but we're going to talk a little bit about them and what they appear to have coming back. That's the one thing
Yeah.
is that, I think that when you start looking at their schedule, you can see why the expectations remain high. They, aside from a handful of games, or actually not even a handful of games, they look like they may be, they've got a pretty easy path, I should say, a pretty
Yeah.
easy path. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is, but let's see.
How you been doing, bro?
Man, not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad. I want to get to you guys' depth charts real quick. Not too bad, man. Just got a lot of family stuff going on, trying to get all this stuff together as well. Excited about the SEC season, man. It's just there's a lot of stuff to talk about. There's just a lot of stuff
There's a
to
whole
talk
lot to
about. I
talk
kind of
about.
figured that we should jump into some of this stuff, break down some of these programs. Obviously now we have 16 programs in the league. I figure if we break down a couple every time we come on,
Yeah.
we should have a nice little grouping of them. This week we're going to do that. Next week we should be able to have High Top Sports Shelton come on
Okay.
and talk a little bit about Florida, and we'll see kind of what other programs we kind of break down with them.
Okay.
But hey, let's talk a little bit about your Arkansas Razorbacks coming into the season. Not a whole lot of I guess there's really not a whole lot of expectations out there,
Yeah.
or as far as high expectations are concerned. After
Yeah.
what you saw, the way that they kind of rolled down the stretch last year, now they did beat Florida on the road, which is, that's a banner thing to have happen no matter what is going on.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
kind of a lame up coach. You got a former head coach turned OC and Bobby Petrino coming back in.
Yeah.
What was the over under on you guys? Or
Oh
it's like five and
man.
a half, 4.5, something like that.
Yeah, I think I picked the under on that, man. Like you said, bro, there's a lot of uncertainty around the Arkansas Razorback football program. And I mean, that's a given based on, like you said, what happened down the stretch of that season. Even at the beginning of the season, there was not a lot of momentum around that team, man.
Of course.
As spring practice is happening right now, there's been a lot of reflection on the energy around the team and somewhat a questioning of the leadership of KJ Jefferson as the
Yeah.
leader of the team and how he interacted with some of the players. And there's a notable difference in the transition or the entrance of Taylon Green from Boise State and his energy and the infectious nature of his personality on the team, man. There are a lot of storylines in Arkansas. There's no shortage of storylines for the Arkansas Razorbacks this year, but there is a shortage of expectations. And sometimes, man, for me, from a historical standpoint, I think that Arkansas is at their best when they're flying under the radar and nobody ever expects a lot from them. Just like with the first couple years with Sam Pittman at the helm, nobody really expected a lot from them, but they surprised a lot of people.
Right.
Like just looking at this practice footage, man. I mean, we've got athletes. There's no shortage of athletes at Arkansas, but the issue has always been the question of coaching. Barry Odom ran the defense for a few years at Arkansas, and we always found success under Barry Odom. But down the stretch, man, we never really had it going on offense after Kendall Browse left. Dan Enos was a terrible, terrible hire for Sam Pittman. I mean, it almost cost him his job, but luckily enough, man, he was able to get Bobby Petrino from the departure of Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M, which means a lot. Bobby Petrino is probably right next to Frank Broyles in Arkansas history, man. I mean,
Yeah.
he brought a swagger, he brought a level of success to Arkansas that no one ever seen in Arkansas history, even with Houston Nutt there, man. When we had
right. And they had some success when Houston was there.
Yeah. We even made it to an SEC championship game with Houston Nutt there, but
correct.
The national spotlight had never been on Arkansas the way it was when Bobby Petrino was there. And to have him leave the way he left, but to also have him come back to right the ship for a sinking program that was at its height when he was there, man, there's no better storyline in the SEC right now.
I tell you, that one kind of surprised me because you got to be pretty forgiving. From what I understand from the stories, I mean, we don't have to get deep into it. We understand that there was a motorcycle accident and he had somebody probably shouldn't have had on the back of that motorcycle with him at the time. But we know that, you know, we definitely know that these guys are, you know, with everything that happened, it's kind of I'm surprised that they were even allowing him back. Now I know he was at Arkansas State for a few years as well, so but I'm still just a little bit surprised that they allowed him back in the state at all, particularly back at University of Arkansas. Tells you a little bit about where they are in terms of Sam Pittman, right?
Yeah, and you got to think about it like this, man. It was never the fan base that disliked Bobby Petrino. It was our last athletic director. I forget his name, but he fired Bobby Petrino. But then when he got fired, he actually got a seat onto the college football playoff committee. Jeff Long is his name. Jeff Long was the athletic director that fired Bobby Petrino. It was never the fans that wanted Bobby Petrino gone. We always wanted him to be there. But Jeff Long is the person that made that decision, which then sent Arkansas football into a spiral that we have not rebounded from yet, man. And it all culminated pretty much with Chad Morris. And we all know what that was. That was the most atrocious brand of football that anybody's ever seen in college football history, in my opinion. But we got a good old boy in Sam Pittman coming in. He said that he grew up an Arkansas fan, and he said that this is the best job in the nation. And he sold himself to the fan base. But now it's time for him to stop selling us dreams and start getting us results. And the best thing that he could do with Bobby Petrino, a free agent, man, is go get him, because that's pretty much the only person that could literally save his job and save his ass, man, at this point. Serious, man. I'm serious, bro. And the good thing about it is that I feel like he did that also, because if he's ever fired from Arkansas for any reason at all, they can always say that he was the man that brought Bobby Petrino back if indeed Sam Pittman is fired and Bobby Petrino takes over as head coach at Arkansas.
Yeah. I you know, I'll tell you something. I feel like this is a kind of situation where it could be a good thing. I think that Sam has had a hard time being the hammer. I mean, you've talked about that a little bit in the past.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about your guy here, Taylor Green. You know, you've got a kid that he started only about half the season there at Boise State, or I don't even know if it was quite half the season, but you know, comes in, he had a significant, you know, effect on the Broncos. You know, 1,752 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, nine interceptions, but he also had 436 rushing yards, an additional 9 touchdowns. So 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions overall. That's a productive season, no matter how you look at it. And he can certainly throw the ball. Now, when we saw Bobby Petrino at one point, you know, he obviously had Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's a little bit speedier, probably a little bit more athletic, but this is a big kid that can spin it and has the ability to get out of the pocket and do some things. I'm gonna throw throw up some highlight video that I have of him right here. But talk to me about what you think about this kid.
Man, Taylor Green is a wild card, man. I think Taylor Green has a lot of upside in the Bobby Petrino offense. Historically, when you think about tall quarterbacks in the Bobby Petrino system, like Ryan Mallett was like 6'7", man, but he had a cannon for an arm. Then when you think about the athleticism of a Lamar Jackson, that quickness, that elusiveness to get out of the pocket whenever he felt it collapsing, but he also had an arm to throw it whenever he needed to. Nobody really knew who Lamar Jackson was until Bobby Petrino, and he ended up being a Heisman Trophy winner. I'm not saying that Taylor Green is a Ryan.
Multiple time finalist at that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying Taylor Green is a Ryan Mallett or a Lamar Jackson, but I will say that at 6'6", 223 pounds, he is a good combination of the two. Because one,
he has a move. He's able to move even at 6'6". You know, you're not going to see the quickness that you see out of Lamar Jackson, but Lamar can't throw it like this.
Exactly. and that's why I was about to say he's a great combination of Ryan Mallett and Lamar Jackson. He doesn't have as big of an arm as Ryan Mallett, but he has a better arm than Lamar Jackson. He's not as fast as Lamar Jackson, but he's elusive enough to create separation and get out of the pocket. And I think that with Taylor Green coming in, he's definitely going to be pushed by Malachi Singleton, man. But Taylor Green is a wild card for me this year. I think that Taylor Green has the opportunity to not only get himself into the NFL, but to also right the ship at Arkansas, moving into this new face, the newly developed SEC with Oklahoma and Texas coming in, man. I think he can be a problem for a lot of teams.
A lot of what you're seeing here is an ability to continue, to extend plays with the run. This is the second really long touchdown run I've seen. I think he had a 75-yard touchdown at one point. During all of that, but I mean, we're talking about a kid that, again, the guy has shown an ability to be escapable, and as we know in college football, if you have a dual threat like that, it can change a lot of things. A lot of things. I know you talked about liking Malachi Singleton. I tend to like him as well, but he's a freshman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the kind of guy, though, that's dynamic. I know that we've seen that a bit out of KJ Jefferson as well over the last few years, but I don't know that he's been the guy that can throw the ball quite as well as what we're seeing out of this kid right here.
No, absolutely not.
They didn't obviously didn't have the same kind of offensive game planning that you're probably going to see out of Bobby Petrino either.
Right. Now, the thing about KJ, man, is that Kendall Browse did an exceptional job at masking KJ's weaknesses in that RPO offense. The RPO is built around mobile quarterbacks who can make reads off the line of scrimmage. If that quarterback cannot make reads down the field, he's not going to be a good quarterback. You have to be decent enough at reading the field when you're throwing the ball, but also making the reads at the line of scrimmage. The Bobby Petrino offense is not RPO based at all, bro. This is a spread, wide open. He's getting people down the field, bro. He's getting playmakers the ball at every chance he can possibly get. The thing that they're saying about
6'6" hurdle somebody like I just saw that kid do right there on that sideline. This is a real deal athlete we're looking at right here, man.
Bro, Taylor Green, a lot of people are sleeping on Taylor Green. And what I like about him is that he's coming from a Pac-12. You know what I'm saying? He's coming from the Pac. Wasn't Boise State in the Pac-12?
No, Mountain West.
Well, he's coming from the Mountain West. But what I'm saying is that Boise State has a history of having elite quarterback play. You know what I mean? If not elite, it's been a top place for quarterbacks to go.
Yeah, they're one of those group of 5 schools that is going to really step up and kind of be able to do some things. Hankster kind of taking a shot at you here, calling you the Texas fan. Man. That's almost like calling you a Texas fan there, Hankster.
Right. It's horns down all day, baby.
Oh,
It's horns down all day, baby. We don't do that around here, bro. But no, man. I mean, I think that Arkansas is in a much better place at quarterback, bro.
This is a green
No, man. I mean, Arkansas is in a much better place at quarterback, and I think that if Taylor Green can play himself into the NFL this year, the team is going to clearly be Malachi Singleton's after this year because, believe it or not, man, your boy, what's his name? Where is he? The other quarterback that we had on the roster last year, man. Jacoby Criswell, man. Yeah. Jacoby Criswell is running with the third string right now, bro. Believe it or not. He was the second guy last year, but with Malachi Singleton being able to sit and watch the game, but not only that, pick up Bobby Petrino's offense at a better clip, he's put himself in a better position. I think Jacoby Criswell is probably going to hit the portal in after spring practice because he's not going to be a second string. He's not going to even be second.
He's a redshirt senior anyway.
Yeah, he's a redshirt senior.
Yeah, so you feel like after the spring, he's probably out of there.
He won't have a choice, bro, if he wants to see the field. Because it's gonna come down to Taylor Green and Malachi Singleton, point blank, period. And at this point, because Taylor Green is the guy coming in from Boise, he's probably got a bigger NIL deal. A lot of people are gonna be looking at Taylor Green to get the starting job. But I would not be surprised if come fall, Malachi Singleton is running out with the first team.
Right. Well, let's CW, and welcome into the show, everybody. Hankster, CW Long. Our boy Mars Jams, the coach, Philip Royball. Glad to see everybody in here. Of course, Sooner legend Mike also in here. You guys chime in as you get in. We appreciate everybody joining us tonight to check out this. Hey, look, I feel like this is a situation where there's always going to be one of those teams in the SEC, and you see it pretty much every year that kind of comes out of nowhere. They're not expected to do anything. But if a couple of things go your way, you kind of have an opportunity to see them, I feel like you got an opportunity to see it be a little bit better. You know what I mean?
We do. I mean, the biggest weakness of Arkansas last year was the offense, bro. Yeah. Our defense was solid. I mean, nobody questioned our defense, and that's always been an Achilles heel for Arkansas is on the defensive side of the ball. But
you've got defensively, you've got 1, 2, 3.
We got a lot of DBs,
5.
bro.
You've got 5 guys coming back that were, I believe, starters, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got, but it looks like you lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you lost 5 guys to either to the portal or to the draft, whatever. They're no longer with the program. But it looks like you've got guys that particularly that have some kind of experience, have been in the program coming in. There are not a lot of freshman guys that you're looking at as a number one opportunity there on the defensive side of the ball. You've got a couple of redshirt freshmen. Or actually one redshirt freshman.
Yeah, what Sam Pittman is going to have to do, man.
Seniors and juniors that are making up that first team, at least from what our lads is showing us. As far as what CW is saying, I could absolutely. What's up, Dalpoz? Thank you for coming in. I could definitely see what our guy's saying here about if they go 2-2, do they fire Bobby Petrino? 2-2.
You mean Sam Pittman?
Yeah, Sam. Or I mean Sam.
Bobby Petrino. Bobby Petrino ain't going anywhere right now.
Correct. Let me see something real quick. I had.
And I'll say this, man. The thing about Arkansas right now is that if Bobby Petrino can come in and produce half of and put out half a decent offense, Arkansas can win more games than we won last year, period.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Like I said, Arkansas is not devoid of talent, man. We just have not had solid coaching. At this point, the weaknesses on Arkansas's defense is going to be on Arkansas's team is going to be the middle of the defense, the defensive line and linebackers. We don't have a lot of experience at linebacker, and we're light on the defensive line. We got Nico Davier. He's a junior, 6'4", 271 pounds. I like Nico Davier. He's super twitchy. He can get off the ball. He has a great swim move, and I just like him a lot. Then we got Anton Junkaj. He came in from New York, Port Jervis, New York. He came out of JUCO. Apparently, he was the JUCO leading sack guy last year. And then we got Cam Ball. Then we got Kavian Henderson, Charlie Collins, Landon Jackson, number 40, 6'7", 282-pound defensive end. Kyle Thompson, Eric Gregory, Donovan Witten, Keevy Rose, John. We got a few guys on the defensive line, but I get worried after that too deep, man. We're not a very deep team at all. Let's see what Hank says. Bobby P could very well be a better hire than Chip since he has no. Absolutely, man. When you come into a situation where you're already beloved and you literally can't do anything wrong, you could piss on campus and nobody would say a word because you're Bobby Petrino. I'm serious, man.
Hold on to your wives down there, boys. Just hold on to your wives.
Yeah. So the thing is this, man. A big storyline coming into the spring is how Bobby Petrino has been calm and how he hasn't been chewing players out and how he's a changed man. But the recent rumblings out of spring camp is that he's been tearing people's head off over the past couple days, because he's installed his offense now. So the first couple days, he's going to be nice. He's going to be cool. But if you've run these plays multiple times and you're not doing your job, he's getting on ass right now. He's getting in everybody's ass. And that's been a big Achilles heel of Sam Pittman. He's not that type of guy. But if Sam Pittman if they can have a good cop, bad cop relationship, you let Bobby Petrino coach these boys up and be that asshole, and then you be the good guy head coach, bro. This could be a marriage made in heaven. It really can.
2-2 was what CW was saying on there. If they went 2-2, now I'm looking at, for sure they're going to win those two games. Look, I wouldn't be that surprised if Okie Light didn't win this game, because first the thing you got to think about here is that the defensive, the front that they're going to see, and if they can do good in the secondary, I can see Oklahoma State losing this game. They still got Bowman as their starting quarterback. Now, I think an awful lot of their running back situation that they have there at Oklahoma State, you would expect Mike Gundy to be calling plays, or particularly to have it scripted out the way that they want to do things. But look, we saw the way Oklahoma State started their season last year. We saw it. And it would not surprise me one little bit if you saw a guy like Bowman throw some interceptions in that game. And I don't care that it's in Stillwater. They almost lost to Central Arkansas in Stillwater last year.
Yeah.
And Scottie Pippen wasn't on that damn team. So, you know what I'm saying? We're not talking about that. I can see that happening where they could get a win there. The Auburn thing, although it's at Auburn, and I know everybody wants to talk about Jordan-Hare Stadium look, they lost to freaking New Mexico State there. They're not changing their quarterback.
Right.
Unless they're going to go with a freshman, from what we can tell. Unless they're going to go with a freshman, they're going to continue with the same quarterback that got them half-ass results a year ago. That's another winnable game if that offense shows up and does what we're talking about under Bobby Petrino. Right. I can see them starting 3-1. I could even almost see them starting 4-0. If they do that, now you're clicking a little bit. That Texas A&M game becomes a little bit more believable,
man,
right?
Listen to me, man. If the Oklahoma State game, I'm glad you have those two games underlined, because the Oklahoma State game and the Auburn game are going to be the linchpin to this season.
I think so too.
If we can win those two games, if we can,
or even go 1-1, it wouldn't hurt,
bro. If we can win one of those, I'm putting my money on the Auburn game, bro.
Yeah,
because now you have an offensive mastermind versus a mastermind coaching. Now that as soon as I want to think about anybody's name, bro, I just forget it. But Auburn's head coach, man.
It's Hugh Freeze.
Hugh Freeze, exactly. I don't know why I do that, bro. My mind goes a million miles per hour. Anyway, I like the Bobby Petrino versus Hugh Freeze matchup because Bobby Petrino is going to coach the hell out of the offense, bro. It's all going to come down to defense at that point. If Arkansas can put together a solid defensive game, I don't think that Auburn has enough on offense, especially at quarterback, to win. Now, keep in mind, this is spring ball. This is a way early type of situation. But I will say that if Arkansas can somehow beat Oklahoma State on the road, beat Auburn, and go to Arlington 4-0, that's going to be a huge game, bro. That's going to be a huge game.
Yeah, listen, you guys, last year in that Arlington game, they look, A&M starts off with a tough game against Notre Dame. A&M starts off, it's a home game, but they got to start off with Notre Dame. We're going to find out a little bit about Mike Elko. I know he's a really good coach. He's done a great job, at Duke.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that's going to depend on what they look like. A lot of that is going to depend on how quickly they pick up the offense that it's basically coming from, Kansas State. They've got a former Kansas State quarterback coming in to be the offensive coordinator. Weigman, I like him, but he wasn't able to stay healthy. Does he switch to this offense seamlessly? We're going to find out. I think by the end of the year, if he can stay healthy, they're going to be a different football team. But this might be a good time to pick up Texas A&M, right? It'd be a better time to play them than week 7, week 8, week 9 of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is a perfect spot for us to play them because down the stretch, man, it gets a little bit easier, bro. I'm not saying easier in terms of the types of matchups, but I'll say this. It feels good to not see a Georgia on the schedule. It feels good to not see a Alabama on the schedule, bro. I mean, we're always going to play LSU. If as an Arkansas fan, I view LSU as more of a rival than I do Missouri, and that's just true. LSU fans might not feel that way, but we've had way more classic games against LSU than we ever have against Missouri, point blank, period. And I think that, man, if Arkansas can somehow have Bobby Petrino put together a stellar play calling performance at Texas A&M, especially with he knows some of the players. You know what I mean? I mean, there's going to be a storyline behind that going to Arlington, Texas. Bobby Petrino coming back to Arkansas. Then he's going back to play Texas A&M in Arlington. There's going to be a lot behind that story. But what impressed me the most about last year with Connor Wegman, the whole Connor Wegman and Max Johnson situation is Bobby Petrino actually made Max Johnson look like a decent quarterback, bro.
He did.
Like, come on, man. Like, when, that offense completely changed. A lot of
guys that have had their best seasons under Bobby Petrino, period.
Yes.
Weigman looked good until he went down.
Exactly. And the thing is, man,
he wasn't still getting to call all the plays. Once it started going even a little bit sideways, Bobby wasn't getting to call the plays, and you knew that there wasn't any real, well, I mean, hell, Jimbo didn't have any motivation. He had to say, fire me. Go ahead. What are you
exactly?
You owe me $80 million. What do I care?
I'll tell you like this, man. If ever I'm in a situation where I'm gonna get paid $75 million to get fired, be my guest. You know what? I don't need y'all anyway. Just have my check Monday morning. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hey. But no, I mean, I think that Bobby Petrino's hands were tied at Texas A&M,
because they're an SEC school, and this is no cap SEC. We're going to talk about every program in the league, and we are going to talk about Mizzou right after this. So that's why.
Absolutely, man. Stop the Arkansas hate, man. We're a part of the SEC too, baby. And just know, don't be mad if we beat your team.
I'm hoping that you guys go out there and do what you did with Texas the last time you played them and beat that ass again. And I could see that happening. Wouldn't surprise
It's a possibility. Me. It's possible. I'm just trying to temper my expectations until I can see the impact that Bobby Petrino is going to have on the offense. I'll start to make real predictions after the spring game. And I also like to see a few of the fall practices before I make a full-on a full-on prediction. This is supposed to be no cap SEC. Arkansas ends up beating Auburn at Auburn, 48-10 Auburn last season. Hey,
this is an entirely new
Coach
offense, new quarterback.
I'm not debating that. I'm not arguing that. I mean, we can all have hope, man. Everybody's football team isn't built like a tank, man. Congratulations. Hats off to you in Georgia, bro. Congratulations. But let me bask in the glory of having my old football coach, Bobby Petrino, back at the helm, bro, and talk about the possibilities.
Arkansas lost 48-10 last season to Auburn, right? Okay, good, right. Whatever. But Auburn also lost to New Mexico State at home. Now, I know that you want to sit here and talk about how great Auburn is at home because that's your rival, Coach I.
Right.
That's your rival. That's Alabama's rival. Nobody else really seems to get into big issues with those dudes.
Right.
You know, it is kind of what it is. So, to me, look, different offense, different quarterback. You said yourself on the show on Tuesday night, Coach I, that with the kid coming in, this quarterback, you know, he's good on his feet. He's good throwing the ball. Look, probably a better situation. No, it's a better situation with Bobby Petrino calling plays than what it was a year ago. I don't see any reason why they can't switch it up because I don't look at Auburn as that great. I just don't.
If I'm being quite honest, if we're doing apples to oranges, who has the better offensive coordinator and who has the better quarterback out of Auburn?
There it is. There it is. Now, going to Jordan-Hare, it is what it is. I know it's a huge thing for Georgia and Alabama, and they want everybody to think it's a huge thing for everybody else too. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I'm the same thing that I said about Oklahoma going in there. Yeah, I know it's tough for if you've played them all the time, but there's also that other part that some of these kids don't know no better.
Right.
And, you know, we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. This will be, of course, I believe that'll be what game? That'll be the first. Well, that's your first SEC game. So that's the week before Oklahoma gets to town, too. Yeah. So you could also catch them kind of looking ahead to Oklahoma the week after that.
They are. Well. They're absolutely going to be looking to Oklahoma, bro. Nobody is expecting anything from Arkansas this year, and that's the beauty of it. Even the fan base. Let us be pleasantly surprised. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you this. When Sam Pittman was hired, I had zero expectations of this team. But after we had a couple of successful seasons, my expectations got high because we had not only a better talent pool, but I thought that we were going to have consistent coaching. When that didn't come to fruition, bro, I realized that I can't have these lofty expectations of this football team because I'll be let down every single time. And I think that's the sentiment for all Arkansas fans. Yeah, I think that whenever we have high even with the basketball team this year, bro, our basketball team was the most inconsistent team on the planet. But we came in to win either the SEC or go to the SEC to be in the Final Four. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. As Arkansas fans, we don't have the luxury of having high expectations. We have to stay humble at all times. But then
when we're like that, the higher the expectations, the less they do. A la Okie Light. There wasn't a whole lot of expectations for them last year, and they've finished above expectations. I would not be surprised at all to see Oklahoma State fall flat on their face. There's no more Texas. There's no more OU. The two teams that they love to, measure themselves against, but the truth is, or don't like measuring themselves against because they're always getting their ass kicked.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And this is another thing, bro.
Me, I feel like there's an opportunity that there's a lot of expectations for Oklahoma State, and they could definitely fall short of that for sure.
Yeah. And I think also, man, people are discounting the fact that Bobby Petrino is a competitor, bro. That is infectious. I don't think that Dan Enos was competitive at all, but I definitely know that Bobby Petrino is not going to allow these kids to be comfortable losing and not hear about it. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're going to see a better offense for sure. And if the defense can be kind of good, maybe he'll be out coached by Freeze, but who's got the better quarterback, man?
Let's talk about what Coach I just said. I'm not referring to the Jordan-Hare thing. I never harped on that like Sharp did. Pittman's still the head coach, and he will be out coached by Freeze. This is where you're wrong. Sam Pittman is the head coach of the offensive line at this point. And he's the overseer of the defense.
Yeah.
Sam Pittman has no pull on the offensive side of the ball when to call timeout, when to do any of the bro. You can sit there and drink that Kool-Aid all you want to,
I think
Coach,
if he
but
makes
I
a
guarantee
mistake with a timeout or something like that
Bruh.
early in the season and it costs him,
No.
he may not even be there by then.
Listen to me, man. That's not going. Hunter Yurachek is not going to allow that to happen. Yeah. Bobby Petrino is in full control of the offense, point blank, period. Yeah, that's full stop. So if you're thinking that Sam Pittman is going to have a say-so on the offensive side of the ball just because he has the title of head coach, you're sadly mistaken, Coach. I got to tell you that right now. You're wrong.
It didn't seem like a hire for him to, take a back seat to anyone to me either. But maybe so. Maybe so. All right. Well, let's move on to this. Well, okay, now that we're looking at it, and I know your expectations, you're keeping them tepid.
Yep.
I think that the big, to hit the over, the ones that I got circled there, those are some of the underlines some of the games that you'd probably need to win at least.
Yep.
Probably 2 or 3 out of those.
Yeah, at least play close in them.
Hit 5, right?
And man, if we lose a couple games by 2 or 3 points, I won't be sad, man, because I know that we're fighting. Now, if we get out there and start losing 48-10 and players letting go of the rope already, then it's a wrap, bro. You can go ahead and pack your bags, Sam Pittman, and go back to Oklahoma or wherever else you want to move to, because you're not getting your house in Hot Springs.
Oh, he'll be back.
What I'm saying?
If he leaves there, he'll be back.
Yeah, bro. But I mean, I really don't think that Bobby Petrino is going to allow that to happen. Not only that, I don't think that Taylor Green as a quarterback.
Where's your expectations? If they were to, let's say they were to win 6-7 games, what will have happened in order for that to happen?
Bobby Petrino completely transformed this offense, and our defensive secondary and our defensive line stepped up to the plate.
Okay.
Because ultimately what's going to happen is teams are going to key in on our defensive line and our linebackers because our secondary is solid. I mean, when you look at the DBs that we have, man, we got Tevis Metcalf, TJ Metcalf. They say that those boys are monsters. They're the little cousins of DK Metcalf, right? Both of those guys are in the secondary. Then we got what's his name? We already talked about Tevis and TJ. Then we got Jaheim Singletary. Then we got Jalen Braxton, who was a stellar freshman last year. Man, I just think that our secondary is going to be much, much more efficient. But what excites me the most about the team overall is seeing what Bobby Petrino can do with Luke Hogs, with our receiving core, Isaiah Satania, our speedster, Andrew Armstrong. I sent you a clip from on Twitter today of Davion Dozier, a redshirt freshman, going up with one hand and grabbing the ball and bringing it down, bro. Man, listen, with the amount of talent that we have at wide receiver and running back and tight end, I think Bobby Petrino is going to have a field day, bro. I really do. I just don't see us having a middle of the road offense. I think that Bobby Petrino is probably going to have us top 5 in the SEC on the offensive side of the ball.
Yep. No, and hey, welcome in, Kyle, and you're right. OSU lost to, it wasn't Sam Houston, it was South Alabama, who I believe they finished like 6-6, and they lost by 27 points in the game at home, by the way. So I could definitely see that happening. I could definitely see that. Look, if this offense looks like it does, and as I said, if you got in here in time to watch that video we were watching, in fact, let me put that on there. Let me put that video up one more time as we kind of finish up here. Listen, this kid right here, the Green, Taylor Green.
Taylor Green is the truth.
Look, the guy's dynamic in a lot of ways. So, we're talking about a guy that can throw it. We're talking about a guy that can run it, and this right here, I believe that was like a 90-yard touchdown run.
Bro, the kid is 6'6". He's 6'6". Yeah. 220 pounds, bro. Like,
Correct.
he's a solid quarterback. And I think that he's going to have a
nice
much
pocket
better
presence on that throw right
great
there.
pocket presence.
Yeah.
And then we
I think
picked up
he's
that
one of
running
the
back
players
from
we most people
Utah.
realize. And Coach I
Then
was talking about him the other night too when we did the quarterback rankings. So,
Yeah.
There's another one of those guys that he has him in his top 25. I think he's going to have to make sure that he holds on to the football.
Yep, he does have a fumble problem. He has a problem fumbling the ball.
The interceptions, he had 9 interceptions to 11 touchdowns. So, I don't know how many times he fumbled, but it's one of the things you want to make sure that you don't see a lot of that. Hey, Bishop Frank, welcome into the show as well. Purple Orca, Kyle DePuis, Zadecki. Why is Josh Dobbs at Boise State? I don't know. I didn't realize that he was, but Boise State is, they're going to do what they do. Look, he was pretty good whenever he got in. I think he ended up with, we had, like as I said, he was 1,752 passing yards, 11 touchdowns. He added another 9 touchdowns and 436 yards on just 78 attempts on the ground. Look, they certainly KJ, as much as I like KJ Jefferson, because I do like KJ Jefferson.
They're two different body types.
They're two different types of players, though. KJ wasn't the kind of guy he's gonna carve you up throwing the football. I'm not positive that that's what you're getting with this kid, but you're going to get a better passing scheme than what you had a year ago.
You are. You're going to get a better passer, and you're going to get a much more mobile quarterback. Yeah, KJ could run the ball, but he could only run the ball downfield.
Yeah,
you know
this
what I'm saying?
Probably one of the better defenses in the Pac-12 right there, Oregon State, and he takes it 60 yards there. So, look, for 6'6" to be able to run like that, not bad.
Absolutely not, man.
All right. We are going to get into Mizzou.
I was wondering if you wanted to jump into Mizzou.
Yeah, we're going to jump into Mizzou real quick. We're going to do a quick, we're going to do a quick commercial break first, though. Give me just 1 second here. Look, I think that, did you give me a record? Did you give me a record there? Or
man, I think that Arkansas has the potential to go. I think their ceiling is 7-5, but I also think that their floor is, 4-8.
4-8. 7-5 to 4-8. Okay. Yep. All right. Hey, listen, I can see that. And honestly, with your schedule, it's not the easiest schedule. You got Tennessee. You do get them at home. Again, we talked about Texas A&M's and Arlington game. I don't know what I really think about A&M. The Ole Miss game, you get them at home, but Ole Miss is probably going to get you. LSU, I mean, everybody's assuming that they're going to be a lot better. I don't know that I for sure.
You're missing a lot of production. You're missing a lot of production at quarterback, man.
Correct. Right. So, look, we're going to find out. You know what I mean? We're going to find out for sure.
I think UAPB, UAB, Mississippi State, and Louisiana Tech are Arkansas's for sure wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's 4.
I mean, I think that a 7-5 record would make people pretty happy.
Yeah,
in Fayetteville after the last couple of seasons, right?
Yeah,
it'd give you something to be excited about going into 2025 for sure.
It'll give us a little bit of momentum, man. If we can get to a bowl game and get a bowl win, that'll give us some momentum going into next season for sure.
Yep, Kyle, that is exactly correct. There's never really been a rivalry. They have been, they've been in the same league aside from these past 10 years or so, since they left to the SEC. They've been in the same league as Oklahoma. For most of it, their record is pretty similar to that of Okie Light against Oklahoma. It's just it's rare that they win. They win 11 games a year ago. In last season, they go out, win 11 games against a pretty soft schedule. I'm going to show you this schedule again is pretty soft, but there's a number of. I'm going to tell you right now. I'll just let you know if you go under, you're going to be good to go here because they're not going to win some of these games that everybody's expecting them to win. Talking 11 wins is silly talk to me.
Talking about Missouri,
yeah, there ain't no damn way. There just ain't no damn way.
I
11 wins.
mean,
That means that they go 11-1 or 11 wins regular season. We're talking about regular season wins. They're 9.5 is their over under. I think I don't see them winning 10 again.
bro, this schedule is
It's pretty soft. But again, Texas A&M, Alabama, and they're on the road at Alabama. They have to deal with Oklahoma, who they beat 1 out of every 10 times that they played them. I don't see that happening. They've been talking too much shit. And then they got you guys. Look, I don't know that you guys can't find a way to win that. It's a rivalry game. Why can't you win it?
If Arkansas can somehow go into that Texas A&M game 4-0, I think that we have a chance to beat Missouri. Point blank period. If we can beat Auburn, if we can beat, I know that there's a lot of games in between that, but I'm telling you that Auburn game is going to be the linchpin to the Arkansas season, bro. It really is. That's why I'm putting so much. I'm putting so much on that game to determine the rest of our season. If we can beat Auburn, if we can beat Oklahoma State, and go in and play respectably against Texas A&M, even if we come out with a loss, I think that our team will have enough confidence to play through the rest of the season and get to the last game and play Missouri like a bat out of hell, because there's some bad blood there right now.
Missouri could be hurting by then. You know, they will have had to. Let's get into. We'll show a little bit of that here just coming up. But let me run this commercial first, guys. Make sure that you guys take care of Mint Mobile. You could save a ton of money. Let me show you here. Is your wireless company giving you a case of the what in the why is my wireless bill so expensive? Question: why are we paying so much for wireless service? Is it for speed, coverage, data, 5G access, mobile hotspot? Well, our new partners at Hall of Fame College Football, Mint Mobile, they have all these features, and for way, way less than big wireless. Like way, way less. As low as $15 a month. You can get signed up and activate your service immediately without having to leave your home. Mint Mobile reimagined the wireless process, making it easy and online. No more stores, no salespeople, and no given. With Mint Mobile, you get all the features you become accustomed to with big wireless, the nation's largest 5G network, and service for as low as $15 a month. To start saving today, just log on to our partner website, trymintmobile.com/HOF. Again, that's trymintmobile.com/HOF. You can get signed up and activate your service immediately. Big Wireless wants you to believe they're the only option. Here's the deal. Big Wireless. You get comparable service to Big Wireless. You don't have to talk to a salesperson to do it. Largest 5G network in the country, as low as $15 a month. Sign up for Mint Mobile today so you can stop getting by Big Wireless. That's right. Stop getting my Big Wireless and switch to Mint Mobile now. Thanks everybody for checking that out. It's really is a great deal. You get the largest 5G network in the country, $45, unlimited talk, text, and data for the first 3 months. That's the best deal you're going to get anywhere around. Check it out. Let me know what you think. I mean, saving. What do you pay for your wireless, man? Probably over $100. I mean, if you got multiple phones, you know what it costs. But
bro, I got my mother-in-law on my bill, my wife. I got my business phone, man.
Yeah.
It's much more than $100 a month. Yeah.
Even for one phone, it's going to be more than $100 a month. You're going to get unlimited everything for $45 for 3 months if you switch to Mint Mobile. You can try it out and keep your service because you can do that. Just at $45, that's a great deal. But you can keep your service until you see how much you like it, and then get rid of it. Just give it a shot. Take a look. Now, look. Here's what we're gonna say here. When it comes to Mizzou, first off, I'm sick and tired of Mizzou. These guys are constantly talking. I keep hearing how Mizzou stands on business. We stand on business. Mm. Oh, drink is something else, isn't he?
Drink the stink.
Yeah, the dude is like, he's a little something else. But look, they had a big season last season, and I'll give them that. The biggest games that they played, I would say, were K-State early on. It took a 60-plus yard field goal at the gun to win it. They lost the games to Georgia. Played a pretty good game against Georgia. Played a pretty good game against LSU. But they were at home against LSU, against an LSU team that couldn't stop anyone, and they couldn't find a way to win. Then they go, the Cotton Bowl game, they were losing 3-0 going into the fourth quarter against an Ohio State team that was on its third-string quarterback and had a lot of guys that opted out of the Cotton Bowl. They end up winning 14-3. They get a couple of garbage time touchdowns. Good for them. Good for them. The win over Tennessee, good for them there, whatever. I think a lot of this kind of stuff, though, is, this standing on business stuff that you kept hearing him say to Josh Heupel. He said it and he hauled ass out of there as he said it, which was kind of funny, I thought. But Drink's a weird dude. He's definitely got some stones, though, putting Mizzou billboards up in Arkansas, where of course he's from Arkansas. So I gotta
bro, that's cutthroat type stuff, man. I mean, if you got the stones to do that, bro, you got a problem. You got a mental problem, bro. If you're playing that type of game.
Seems weird to me.
And then you talk crazy to Bobby Hill. Who talks to Bobby Hill like that, man? I'm talking about Josh Heupel, right?
Hey, man, don't be. You can't be coming in here talking shit about Josh Heupel unless it's Oklahoma week.
Heupel is Bobby Hill's doppelganger, bro.
That ain't even right, bro. I don't know that K-State is going to be that. They're generally not a big pain in Oklahoma's ass. I know that they like to act like they are. And look, they've done good for them. They went and got Caden Green. They tampered to get him. Good for them. And they as much as they're talking about their NIL and all this other stuff and how great it is, they still only finished top 20 in recruiting. For everything that they're doing, they're finishing top 20. Again, this now, and I would say this let's find this.
I'm just looking at their roster right now, man. I mean,
yeah, their roster is not great, but their schedule is trash. I'm going to give them this part.
That's
the reason that I can see them winning 8 or 9 games for sure, 9 games. I don't see them winning 10. No way in hell they win 10. I can see them winning 9, but that's going to put them on the underside of this over-under projection, right?
Yeah, that schedule is terrible.
Yeah, look, Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College,
Vanderbilt,
and then Vandy. Right, they get Vandy.
And then a bye week before Texas A&M.
They got to go on the road to Texas A&M. And by now, we're talking about what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 weeks in, actually 7 weeks in to the season. If A&M is going to be any good, that's going to be a tough place to go. No matter what, that's a tough place to go play. Right? And anytime you talk about the 12th man, I've been in that stadium more than once. The whole place waves, and it's rowdy. And if it's a nighttime game, ooh, tough getting out of there, folks. Tough getting out of there. Be afraid. Be afraid. Don't be in College Station after dark. Don't be in College Station after dark. Maybe they beat A&M. Maybe they don't. We're going to find out. They also go on the road to Auburn. That's they got UMass in between there as well. The Oklahoma game, they've been talking shit constantly since the Caden Green deal. Constant. And then Williams Winery. I've already said this a number of times. This is a guaranteed Oklahoma win in my book. I just look at this one as one of those games that they have talked themselves into an ass whipping at home. I think that Oklahoma's players and coaches have not said anything. The fan base is pissy about it, but you've heard
it's always the fan base.
You started to hear stuff out of Drink where he's already poking the bear as well, right? You're hearing it out of the fan bases. Don't think for 1 second Oklahoma fans and that coaching staff isn't paying attention to it, because they are going to they're gonna hear about it and they're gonna play it up. You think they're 6-2, 7-1 when they play us, which is good because we're gonna stomp that ass. Yeah, let's see. Alabama after a week apart. They've got Alabama. This is another one of those deals that they could overlook Auburn because they got Alabama the week after that in Tuscaloosa.
These bye weeks set up nicely for them, though, bro.
Sure.
You got 4 cupcake games, then you got a rest week, then you got Texas A&M, the biggest game of the season. Then the week after that, you got UMass between Auburn and Alabama. Then you got a bye week after. I feel like they're trying to set Missouri up to be that team, that thorn in the side team that nobody really expects. You know what I'm saying? Because look at
everybody's. I don't know, man. Bro. If you're watching any of these other pundits around the SEC, they're all picking Missouri to be one of those. It's just like it's them and Ole Miss. Everybody's talking about their dark horse teams to be a playoff contender, and it's these guys. Look, if they don't win 10 games, there's no way they get. I think they need to play for the conference championship in order to get in. Because let's say there's a 2-way tie or a 3-way tie for that second place team into the conference championship game. Somehow they don't get in and play it. I think they're in trouble because of the fact that this schedule isn't quite. I mean, look, they get Mississippi State. That's a 2-win team from a year ago. They get Vanderbilt, 2 wins from a year ago. They're different. Mississippi State's going to be a little bit different team. But then they go on the road and play you guys. Or no, they got you guys at home in this one.
We go to Columbia. I mean, what is it, Columbus?
I can tell you what, they're not beating Bama. They're not beating Oklahoma. And I'm going to venture to say that they're not beating A&M either. So there's 3 losses right there. They go to 9 wins. That's not going to get on the over.
Who are they projecting to be their starting quarterback and starting running back?
Well, Cook. Okay, so you look at this and
Brady Cook.
Brady Cook from a year ago, he definitely had a season. 244 completions out of 369 attempts, 66.1% completions, 3,317 yards, 21 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. They did get sacked 26 times. They sacked him 26 times. Just for, just a comparison, Dylan Gabriel, and supposedly it wasn't a very good Oklahoma offensive line. He only had 17 sacks on the year, right? So it is what it is. Luther Burden is obviously their biggest guy returning, 86 receptions, 1,212 yards. Look, the guy has been absolutely a stud, since he got on campus, right?
Yeah.
Just a stud since he got on campus. So I like Luther Burden as well. 86 receptions, 1,212 yards with 9 touchdowns. Theo Weiss, former Oklahoma wide receiver, 5-star wide receiver as well. 49 receptions for 682 yards, 9 touchdowns. Look, big deal for them. But the problem, they're replacing their running back. They're replacing some guys off the line. They're replacing quite a bit of their defense along with their defensive coordinator. They could win. They could get to 10 wins with that schedule. I would agree with that, Coach I. I would agree with that. But I could also see them having 8. Look, you just got to win 2. You got to win 2 out of the 4 hardest games. I agree. Yeah. You're expecting that A&M's going to be the same. I think that's fair. Oklahoma, maybe you get a win there. Maybe you get a win against Alabama. I tend to doubt that they get a win on the road at Tuscaloosa. I've said before, you're not going to beat Oklahoma. So there's the 2 losses. That would be the over. That means that they have to win the games against who did we have? Share the screen again real quick. Oops, I missed it.
I'm looking at this roster, bro. I don't see that freshman receiver that they picked out of Arkansas, out of Pine Bluff.
Is it
The
not?
only
They're
freshman
not there yet.
I don't think so, man. The only freshman I see on their roster from Arkansas is Brian Huff from Jonesboro, 6'2" linebacker.
Okay.
I don't see that freshman. That freshman wide receiver.
That depth chart real quick here too. Yeah, let's see. They've got no, they don't have him on there yet. Maybe they hadn't been updated. Most of the time, our lads does pretty good with the updates, but we're not seeing a ton of it. Look, they've got off of the defense. So this is what I was talking about, and this is what I really want to share. Look, out of they're replacing basically their entire defense.
Yeah.
You know,
and their running back and their leading rusher from last year.
Correct. You know, left defensive end, left, defensive tackle. You know, these are all guys that are gone. All guys that are gone. Now, how many of these guys got to play some last year? I don't know. Look, some of these guys may not have played a ton that they lost, but no matter what, they lost 10 guys off of their defensive team, not to mention the defensive coordinator, 2 other defensive coaches that were on that staff. Now, look, they went out and got a guy that they really liked, but the truth be told, you've got a guy, Zion Young at defensive end coming back. That's one of their guys that they expect a lot out of. Toriano Pride, another pretty good player as well. He'll be back as well. Look, I'm just saying, if they get into any of these situations where, look, if you got to win nothing but shootouts, you're going to struggle with that because it doesn't look like you're going to have the same kind of defense that was able to get after everybody like they did last year. Yeah. The freshman could also be a summer enrollee, as Coach I said as well. Yeah, and sometimes it just doesn't. It doesn't always necessarily. They don't always fill it up right away. It all kind of comes to the schools, or they got somebody at each place. But look, Luther Burden, obviously, as I said, stud. 86 receptions, 1,200 yards. Look, he only had 9 touchdowns. That surprises me. You got 6 touchdowns out of Theo Weiss as well, and 50 receptions. Again, he's a former 5-star, played at Oklahoma. He probably needed a change of scenery there. He had some injury issues, and he definitely got into Jeff Levy's doghouse in their first season in Norman. So I think it's a good situation for him. I am definitely a fan of Theo Weiss. So we'll talk about a little bit about that. But yeah,
it's his year, man. If he wants to play himself into the NFL, man, he's gonna have to have a big year.
Yeah, look, I think that if he stays healthy, his size and his speed should, he's always been a guy that with decent hands. If they have another one of those seasons, you're going to need him to have that kind of deal. You're also going to need that freshman running back, to come in and do his thing as well, I would think. You got another senior, but they've got a guy coming in. Apparently, that freshman running back is who they've been talking about a lot.
Nate Noel.
Jamal Roberts, right? The red shirt. They lost
Jamal Roberts.
Schrader. Yeah, they lost Cody Schrader from last year, and the dude kind of was doing his thing, right?
Yeah.
So, we're going to find out kind of where they are on that. They lost a couple of guys. They lost their left tackle. They've got Caden Green coming in at left tackle. He didn't play tackle at Oklahoma. And then Javen Richardson, of course, is going to be their left guard. So they replaced him basically the left side of that offensive line. We're going to see kind of where that is. Brady Cook, I know he had a pretty good season. We'll find out. Again, have you seen these guys be good 2 years in a row? No. His first 3 years in town, he won 5 games, 6 games, 6 games, or no, 4 years, I think. It never over 7 games, right? So, we'll see kind of what happens with Drink. I think that schedule is definitely soft enough for them to win. They could win 10. I don't see them winning.
Let's just count them out right now. Let's just count the dubs. Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College, Vanderbilt, Massachusetts. That's 5.
Okay.
In order for them to get to that 10-11 game mark, we have to find 5 more games. So we can just give them Arkansas. Let's just say they're going to beat Arkansas. Let's say that they're going to beat South Carolina, because we don't know what's going to happen at South Carolina with Spencer Rattler leaving, and what type of offensive line is South Carolina going to have.
Right.
But Auburn is up in the air. Alabama is up in the air. Oklahoma. And then they got Mississippi State, man. They don't even have Ole Miss on their schedule, bro.
They don't have Ole Miss on their schedule. Mississippi State, the thing about them is that you've got a new dynamic offense that if you get in a shootout with them, it's one of those kind of games. You got to play in Starkville, listen to the freaking cowbells. I'm not saying I believe Mississippi State's going to necessarily win. I think that they probably struggle in their first year under Jeff Levy. But we do know what he's shown his first year. Really, Oklahoma did not lose a step when they lost not only the Heisman Trophy winner, but Lincoln Riley. That offense was still dynamic. They're going to come in and do some things that look, they may surprise some people. I'm still one of those guys that doesn't believe a whole lot in the depth that Mizzou has. And, look, they're a hit away from a freshman or Harold Blood, who's their a senior that they've got ranked number 3 in their depth chart right now.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Harold Blood, but Aiden Glover, freshman quarterback. Do you trust in a freshman quarterback to come in and a true freshman at that? Right. We'll find out kind of where that ends up. Look, I think that I'm definitely going on the under there myself, but that being said, I could definitely see them winning 10. It again, like Coach I said, out of those 4 that we've got, highlighted, if they win 2 of those, they could more than likely win 10, right?
Yeah.
That's of course assuming they're going to lose to South Carolina. That's of course when they're going to beat South Carolina, they're going to beat Auburn.
That also means that they're pretty much going to be undefeated going into that Alabama game.
Correct. It would pretty much have to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if they could beat Texas A&M, they can beat Arkansas. I could see that. Working out for them. South Carolina might be better than we think too, though. You know what I mean? They've got a new quarterback that everybody seems to really like as far as athletically concerned. He might be pretty good. Coach I's nephew.
That's what I was about to say. They got some playmakers at receiver too, so we just never know.
We'll find out. I'm not a huge believer in Shane Beamer. I don't see them doing a whole lot, and in view of the fact that they are playing at Columbia though, so maybe it's a tough one. I think that Mizzou's kind of had South Carolina's number though, haven't they?
Yeah,
seems like they have.
Yeah.
Drew Pine is there as well now. He was there. He's QB2. Okay, I didn't realize that. That wasn't on. That's not up there. So, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know what I think of Drew Pine either. I mean, he was riding. He was riding the Pine at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Maybe their offense is going to be able to carry them. And again, it would have to. But if they get into a situation when they play a decent defense, if Arkansas plays decent defense, Texas A&M is going to be defensively sound. They've been building on that. I mean, that's what they have is really good defensive players.
Yeah,
in the fold there. And then, of course, with Mike Elko, they're going to play defense. Look, I can see them losing that game. Alabama probably that's their biggest question mark is on defense, what they're going to look like after all the losses with Nick Saban. I don't know. Oklahoma, if Oklahoma's defense is anywhere close to what we expect it to be in year 3 under Brent Venables, they're not just going to go out there and score at will on OU. And look, we saw what they did against Ohio State in the bowl game. They scored 14 points in the last quarter to win it 14-3. So it is what it is. Yeah, he just got in there and transferred. Okay. I can see that. Again,
Yeah.
another one of those situations where, okay, yeah, good for him. But he's been on the pine. So we'll see kind of what happens with him. Yeah, look, to me, I think that this is a program that I'm stopping short of saying that they're a team on the rise until I see them do it more than one season. And look, even if they have a 9 or 10 win season this year with that schedule, I'm going to want to see it probably one more time before I think too much. It's a situation for me where I've seen Missouri all the way going back to the Big 8 days whenever I was younger, the Big 12. Look, their last conference championship was in the 50s. In the 50s. They've never won a national championship in pretty much any team sport that I can know of. And I just don't buy it, man.
It's
I don't buy it. It's Mizzou. They've been mid forever at best. Yeah. They were 10
historically
10-win seasons going into last year. They had 10 wins. Or that 11, they had 10 wins 10 years before that was the last time they had done that.
I mean, even Arkansas has a better historical reputation than Missouri, bro. And that says a lot. Right. You know what I'm saying? At least Arkansas has a championship in at least 2 major sports in the last 30 years. Well, I'm sorry, I take that back because we didn't win a championship.
We won a couple of them with the basketball champions, when under Nolan Richardson.
Yeah, I mean, at least we had 2 championships, at least 2 national championships in basketball and football to our name.
Look, their basketball team is trash now. I mean, going to the SEC did nothing to help them basketball wise. They were way better when they were in the Big 12. Way better.
Yeah. They were even worse than Arkansas this year.
Yeah, man. I think they were 0-16 in the league the last time I looked. They hadn't won a game.
So, yeah, I mean, if they were in an NBA lottery, I mean, if they were in the NBA, they would have the number 1 pick because they were that bad.
They were that bad. They were that bad. Yeah. And they better stand on business. They better continue to stand on business is all I'm going to say. You know what I mean? When it comes to that kind of stuff.
We'll see what Drink has up his sleeve, man. I think he's one of those slithery, unlikable, just annoying guys that he's that guy that always talks so much shit, but when you're in his face, he doesn't say anything. You know what I'm saying? But then if he wins or if he does something to get the upper hand, he's always talking shit about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They were showing him at the Tennessee basketball game in Columbia that he was over there yelling, "Now y'all ain't so tough. We're still standing on business over here." So there's a lot of receipts out there for Oklahoma fans. There's a lot of receipts out there for Tennessee, and they don't have to play them Tennessee this year. But imagine all the shit that 2 years of trash that they're going to be getting from Missouri, for losing that game. You're going to have to go to Knoxville next year for sure. And, that's not going to be the same type of deal. I kind of wish that they got a shot at him again too. Cause I don't even, Heupel said that he didn't hear him say it. So, maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but I think that Josh Heupel with Nico Iamaleava liable to have a really good season this year. He's the first year quarterback as well. They wouldn't necessarily beat him, but I think it'd be a hell of a lot better football game, particularly having to play them in Knoxville, 100,000 strong. It'd be a little bit different deal than what it was at Columbia. So, look, co-coordinators, I think Drink is, I think their defense was as big a part of anything as anything, when you end up with, both of those guys are gone, you've lost 10 guys off of your depth chart no matter what.
That's a lot, bro. That's a lot.
Defense, and that was the biggest reason why I think that they were better than most. I mean, they gave up a lot to – they didn't give up a ton to Georgia, comparatively speaking, but they gave up 50 to LSU with that good defense. And then, they lost the entirety of their or not the entirety of their staff, but they lost their best 2 coaches there. I think that kind of tells you a little something. We'll find out. We'll find out if they can continue to get to the quarterback. They did bring in one of the top defensive line prospects in the country in Williams Nwaneri. You know, we'll see if he's a freshman though, so we're going to find out whether or not that's really going to help. They brought in another defensive line guy in the portal from Florida that you know, he's a second year player, third year player, whatever it is. I think he's got a couple of years left. Oklahoma was in on him too, so I think that they're definitely trying to stay there, and they have some NIL cash to spend. You know, when Drink wins it more than once, we'll find out.
Man, we'll see, man. I mean, hey, I don't have a lot of faith in
Give
Missouri
me your
myself.
prediction on their year.
Man, looking at this schedule, bro.
I'll pull it back up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that their floor is 6-6. That's their floor.
Wow. Okay.
Because they're gonna win 5 games. I mean, Murray State, Buffalo,
and
Boston College,
Boston
Vanderbilt.
College.
Those are dubs. UMass is a dub.
Sure.
The toss-up games are gonna be. They really got 4 toss-up games, man. Auburn, South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. If they can win 2 out of those 4, that'll put them at 7. If we're giving them Murray State, Buffalo, Boston College, Vanderbilt, and UMass, that's 5 wins already.
If they beat Auburn, Mississippi State, or
Arkansas,
South Carolina, Arkansas,
that's
South
7
Carolina.
wins.
Okay,
that's 7, 8 wins right there.
Okay,
yeah.
Yep.
So their ceiling.
Well, let it be ceiling. If they win 2 out of the 4 that you just brought up, that's 6.
That's it. Yeah.
Then they got Alabama, Oklahoma, A&M, which I feel like are probably losses, but I'm gonna wait and see on A&M a little bit. But I think like I don't think they beat Alabama. I know they're not beating Oklahoma with everything they said. That's 2 losses. I feel like they're probably gonna. I think they could lose if they lose 2 of those. Now you're at 8-4. 2 of those games that you talked about, now you're at 8-4. I can see that happening. I think that's probably. I think 8-4 is probably maybe 7-5 the floor. I think 10 wins would be the ceiling for them, and I really doubt 10 is going to be where they end up. I'm more inclined to say 9-3 being their ceiling.
Yeah,
I can see them winning 10, but I think 9-3, 7-5 would be mine. But again,
I'm right there with you.
Missouri really do it twice in a row. Period. It's been 10 years since they won 10 games. So,
I'm right there with you, bro. So I think 7-5. I think 6-6, 7-5 is their ceiling. I mean their floor.
Right.
That 8-4, 9-3 area is their ceiling for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's our predictions on this season with Mizzou and Arkansas. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick Arkansas to win that last game of the year against Mizzou. That's why I wanted to. That's their rival. You know, I know it's become a rival or whatever. They've been poking at that bear for a while now. I'm gonna pick a Bobby Petrino offense to find a way to get it done. I think that Mizzou might be reeling a little bit, or they might be thinking that they're a little better than they are. That's gonna be my dark horse winner to win a big game. To that being one of their losses, I think Arkansas is going to be the one. You know, rivalry game.
Yeah,
you get it on the road, but I think you could go ahead and go get it done. Especially with all the trash he's been talking and putting up. And when you start putting up billboards in the other state,
yeah, bro. I mean, that's crazy.
Balls.
That's crazy. That is craziness, bro. That's craziness. And not only that, you did it in Pine Bluff.
Right.
In Pine Bluff, Arkansas, bro. That's not like Northwest Arkansas. That's not that's like the
border or anything like that. You're in the heart of it.
Yeah, bro. That is craziness.
It's either stones or something.
That's
lack
craziness,
of brains
bro.
or big old stones. I got to give him that one. But again, I think the receipts. Look, when you do all of that stuff, you do stack up a lot of receipts for when you fall. People are going to be happy that you did. I don't think that you really, as a coach, you would hope that your coach would be a little smarter than that. I don't know that he is.
Yeah, I
In the end,
think Drink, man, he's a smart guy, but I think that his pride and his level of pettiness is going to be his downfall, bro. I think that
he was on the hot seat,
bullshit.
big as shit going into last year.
Yeah, bro, the bullshit that he's pulling right now, bro, it's gonna cost him his job at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I think
look,
it's
with
gonna
all
be
the
his
stuff that you've
downfall.
done, I mean, you could see him ending up with a job like a Arkansas possibly or a Vanderbilt, except for you talked all that shit. You know what I mean? Because of
Hell
what
no.
you've done. But no, not
Arkansas,
now.
bro.
Not now. Not now.
No.
Not now.
We got to get past Sam Pittman, bro. Before we start talking about that, man. Oh, I couldn't imagine having Drinkowitz as a head coach at Arkansas, bro.
I think he probably screwed that up himself by now, though. Even if he was to do well another year or two and, get fired a few years later, which I think that, he's probably bought himself a couple of years. But, if he does end up at 6-6, 7-5, I think it heats right back up, because that means that 5 out of 6 seasons that he's been there, he will have not won more than 7 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it could heat right back up over there. So if they're willing to spend in this NIL pool at Missouri and be able to go get those guys, you don't want to waste that on a coach that isn't going to win. And so I think he's still in that prove it mode. I don't know that I trust him. I don't trust him. So we'll see. And I'm never going to trust a Mizzou until they get a guy like Kirby Smart or freaking Nick Saban as their coach there. I just don't see that really happening.
I agree.
It is what it is. All right, guys. Well, let us know what you guys think. If you're here in the comments, give us your expectations for both of these programs, Arkansas and Mizzou, and also let us know in the comment section, who do you want to see next week? We will break down 2 more, possibly. I'm thinking as long as High Top comes on, for sure one of them will be Florida. The other one, let us know who you think. We'll try to see if we can't get somebody from one of these locations to help as well. If you want to say like LSU, I could see them being one of them. I'd like to kind of to get into it with them as well. We're definitely going to be doing all of them at some point. But with Florida, we'll spend some time with Shelton from High Top Sports. LSU breakdown. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely break down LSU as well.
That'll be a good one.
And then look, we'll check it out and see kind of what we come up with. But yeah, Tennessee obviously still out there. That's another one. South Carolina. Whenever Stat Guy gets back to health, we probably save the South Carolina one for that one, right?
Yeah.
But when Stat Guy gets back to health, we'd love to have him back on. I talked to him a little bit today. Was good talking to Stat. Hope you continue to feel a little bit better, and look forward to seeing you back on with Coach I as well. Coach I, let us know what you think. Whenever you're ready to come on, we'll obviously do a breakdown on Georgia, and then you got Kentucky, obviously Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Let us know whenever you guys are ready for that one as well. We'll obviously we can break down Texas and OU anytime, because that's kind of what we've been doing. But I believe that it is going to be what it is. Hey, thanks a lot, Stephen G. Appreciate this. Appreciate that a lot. I'm excited that you guys are enjoying the program. Make sure you share it with your friends. Get them likes up. If you're not already a subscriber to Mo's channel, make sure you jump over there and become a subscriber there as well. He's streaming there as well also. So get over there and give a like to both of those streams so we can get those views up and stuff like that. It helps us out a lot. Okay.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to Razorback Nation, man. This is Jason. You told me that I could stream live to my channel, bro. I had no idea. This is going to save me a lot of time. I told you that before,
but I'm glad you did. And shout out to Razorback Nation. I'm excited to have them in there too.
Absolutely.
I definitely would much rather Arkansas be their yearly opponent. I know that Mizzou's going to be. I would definitely rather see it be Arkansas instead. But I don't see that really happen. So
Yeah.
apparently, because you guys are going to play Texas every year, from what I understand, and then you're going
that's a real rival. Like Texas and Arkansas is a real rivalry.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, good luck to you on that. Go beat that ass this year. That could be another one of those wins, right?
Man, I'm there. I'm in there, bro. I'm telling
You
you,
get
my
'em at
season
home.
tickets are
You get
ready,
'em at
bro.
home. You get 'em at home.
I'm just trying to figure out logistics at this point, bro. To have to
Defensively,
be in
they're gonna.
Arkansas.
Hey, they weren't great on defense last year. They were really good up front. Their secondary was struggling. They lost the best part of what they had on the front line. They got Colin Simmons coming in, but we got to see if Colin Simmons, what he's going to be as a freshman. You know, the kid out of
some nice freshmen coming in, bro.
Duncanville, they do.
Yeah, they got some nice freshmen coming in. I went to see Duncanville play
bro,
DeSoto, and
they're so good, dude.
I'm gonna tell you like this. When you hear people say that Texas high school football is different, I didn't believe. I've been living in Dallas for almost 10 years, bro. The pinnacle of high school football to me up to this point was in Arkansas. But bro, me and my brother-in-law went to go see Texas football, North Shore, Duncanville, DeSoto. Bro, when I tell you that was high level high school football, bro, I had never seen it. I never seen anything like it in my life,
Allen, Frisco, Emerson, you know, they were up. Frisco Emerson had Hawkins, who played them into the semifinal. They lost to South Oak Cliff in 5A. They've won 3 in a row. That's a real deal program too. You know, then you get down into Austin, right, and you got Westlake and Lake Travis, right? You know, there are some real deal. The Denton programs, Denton Geyer, both Denton teams, Denton Geyer and
Azel is up there with them.
Look, there's a lot of really good programs all throughout the country or all throughout the state. You know, you start getting down into you know, Plano, you go the Plano and those teams, but then even down around Houston, they've got, hey, there's some real deal programs down there too. So
absolutely, man.
They've got, what is it, out of 6A, I think they have 240 schools in Class 6A, which is why they split it down the middle. They got 2 divisions. You know, Class 6A is the real deal. Class 5A is the real deal.
Yeah, it is.
You know, there's a lot of kids that come out of 3 and 2A schools that get, hell, Colt McCoy was one of the best quarterbacks Texas has had in the last 30, 40 years, and he played at a 2A school.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So it is what it is, man. It's the real deal. If you can, and being able to kind of get back in and recruit some more of those guys out of Texas now that you've got Texas and Oklahoma back in the mix, I think that's probably going to help Arkansas more than people realize. I do.
Yeah. Steven asked if the SEC was ready for OU softball. Absolutely, man. What?
Nobody's ready for OU softball, bro.
We'll see, man. Arkansas has been making some moves in softball. But nobody wants to see those Omaha Hogs, man.
They're really good.
Baseball
they're
team
really
is solid.
good. Absolutely. Yeah, they're really good. But hey, Arkansas knocked out Texas last year out of the tournament, right?
Yeah,
in softball.
But bro, I didn't see. Well, yeah, they did. But the surprise for me, man, was the baseball team. Like Ole Miss last year. Ole Miss's baseball team surprised the hell out of me. I didn't see that.
Oklahoma lost to them the year before last in the final. Right?
Yeah, I didn't see that coming, bro. But man, we got a lot to talk about, bro. I mean, just stay tuned, people. We appreciate it.
Hey, check out Neilio here. He says Johnny Moxon played at Small West Canaan too. He and Lance Harbor, Billy Bob, elite talent. Hey man, that is an elite reference to that's an elite movie reference right there. Neilio, always the man. Appreciate you guys joining us as well. Stephen G, Kyle, let's see who else we got. Coach I, Purple Orca, Mars Jams, Bishop Frank.
I need Coach I to get on here and say it with his chest about Arkansas.
Say it with your chest, Coach I. Say it with your chest.
I'm just messing with you, bro. Salute,
hey,
Coach
Legend Mike, Gangster, Dow Poise, you know, CW Long. Thank you everybody for jumping in here, supporting the show. Coach Roy Ball as well. You know, hey, we're excited to have as many people checking it all out. Hey, thanks a lot for the super chat. He says, good evening, gentlemen. Thank you, Neilio, our boy from KC Mo. We've got, I don't know if you saw it or not, but we have Mizzou floor being right around. I've got their floor at about seven wins.
Yeah.
The ceiling, I'm not picking them to win 10. I've got them winning 9. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Okay.
So look, Varsity Blues was a great pickup. Loved that one. Loved the
that's in
that
the
was
that's in the blockbuster.
Solid reference there.
That's pre-Netflix right there. That's blockbuster days, bro. You got to go pick that up. You got to go pick that VHS up or DVD up.
Hey man, when they kicked the coach out and won anyway, that's a solid deal. So and the whipped cream bikini is classic. Classic. Cannot be beaten, right? Yeah, but Muck Fazoo, he says, there you go. Yeah, I'm with you. Hankster. We appreciate it. Guys, thanks a lot so much for coming in. If you hadn't already hit that like button, please make sure to do so. Hey, thanks a lot again for you coming in and joining us as well, SEC Mo. Love it.
Absolutely, man.
And we will see you guys all on the next one.